So this is how I put my binding onto the back of the quilt. So I've machine sewn it on the front, and now I'm going to attach it to the back. I use my Wonder Clips to just fold it down. I'll show you how to do that corner in a second. And then I just take nice little small stitches that are almost invisible, as you can see. You can just see the little pulling, and you know, it's quite sturdy. If I'm doing a quilt for a child that I know is going to be used a lot and washed a lot, I will make an effort to make those stitches even smaller, but for a quilt that I just want to get done and dusted, I go quite large stitches. So to fold your binding over to the back as you come to the corner, it's very similar to how we were doing it at the front, except in reverse, I suppose. So fold it down neatly there, and then you fold the other corner over, and they should meet at that point. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. Just pop a little clip on there so that as you're sewing up to this corner, you're ready to take a bite of not only this side of the binding but also this side over here to catch that corner. And I also then sew into the corner as well, and then bring my needle back up and out here to start sewing down that side. So I sew my binding on from this side so that I can help with this thumb to keep it in place. I find doing it the other way a little strange, so I've just gotten used to doing it this way. And so where your thread has come out, I put my needle in just there, and I just go under 1 millimetre or so, just through the backing and the wadding, not through the front. And I've got my finger, this finger, underneath, so I actually can feel if the needle goes too far, and then bring it up and as close as possible to the edge of your binding. Bring that through and repeat, and it really is a case of rinse and repeat. So when you're at the end of your thread and you want to tie off and start a new thread, put your needle in as normal, but we're not going to do a full stitch. We're just going to do a tiny little stitch right at the same spot as where your thread has come up. Don't pull your thread all the way through. Leave a loop, put your needle through that loop and pull it tight. And I like to then push my needle through and out the middle of the binding. That just takes the pressure off the knot. So obviously when the quilt's being used and used well, there's going to be no pressure on that, and it won't come undone. Snip your thread off, and then you can start a new thread. Starting a new thread, I've still got binding to sew down. I flip up my binding a little bit and just put my needle through here to start it. And then I pop my binding back down, turn it around so that I can sew properly. So here's my loose thread, and this is where my last stitch was, and I'm just going to push my thread right up against that, and I'm going to take a stitch just before my last thread and just past it. So this is a very small stitch for this one. Pull that up, and then I can start doing my stitches as per normal.